So guys and gals, I have another tank review for you today. This time it is a Bretagne Panther. I hope I've said that right. It is a tier 6 French premium medium tank. It is the tank that Wargaming are profiling for the 2019 Tankfest event. I also believe there will be a working version of it there. Now this Panther modification was produced from August 1943 to June 1944. The Alsef A mod featured a new turret and bow gun ball mounting. The observation devices also went through modernisation. A total of 2,300 of these vehicles were produced, and in 1944, after the Allied landing in Germany, some of the vehicles were captured by the French armed forces and used in combat against the Germans. Now, let's have a look at its stats and how it compares to the other tier 6 premium mediums. Its average damage per shot is 135, and that is only beaten by the T-34-85M, which has 180. Its average pen is 150, which is the same as the Poodle. Its rate of fire is 16.93 rounds per minute. Obviously the Fury is the top one there at 21 rounds per minute. Its reload time is 3.54 seconds, and again the Fury is the top end there at 2.85. Its gun traverse speed is 32 degrees per second, which is the bottom, whereas the Cromwell B is 54.6 degrees per second. Its gun depression is 8 degrees, and its gun elevation is 18 degrees. Now the Thunderbolt and the Fury have both got 10 degrees of gun depression. It's got a pretty good aiming time of 1.96 seconds, which is about average, with the best being the Cromwell at 1.84, and its dispersion is 0.33, and the average damage per minute is pretty average compared to the rest of them at 2,286. It's got the same amount of hit points at the Poodle at the top end of 840. Its hull armour is 80, 40 and 40. And its turret armour is 100 at the front, 45 and 45, so it's got the same strong front turret armour as the Poodle. It's got 700 horsepower engine, which is the same as the Poodle, and its top speed is 55 km an hour forwards and 20 km an hour backwards, so that's in the mid-range there as well. Its traverse speed is 32 degrees per second, which is definitely at the bottom end if you compare it to the Cromwell at 64. It has very little in terms of camo rating at 11.78% whilst stationary and 9.56 whilst moving, and it's got a view range of 378 meters, and that is with the crews that I've got in the tank, so they're not 100% crew specific. They have 2 or 3 skills on them each. What is also worth pointing out is the crew loadout is different too, being that it's got a radio operator. If you are swapping your French medium crews back and forth, even though you get a 100% crew member with the tank, it's not going to be anywhere near as skilled as the rest of your crew, like I say, if you are transferring them out. Now, I've played a few games in it, and I am only an average player, but I'm trying to get a half decent replay to show you. But to be honest, unless you're top tier, everything seems to eat you for breakfast, and the gun just slices through you through butter. So although it's a medium, you've got to be pretty careful with it. But anyway, let's have a look at this one. Now, I find myself as bottom tier on Mannerheim line. Well, I say bottom tier, we've got a 7-8 spread of tier 7s and tier 6s. So I decide to go along the 1-2 line to battle it out with the mediums, which normally go that way according to the meta of this map. But it looks like there's only me and a Skoda T25 going this way. So I'm thinking to myself, am I going to keep pushing? And seeing as the Skoda has stopped, then I'm not going to do that. The 5916 has spotted the AMD 178, and I don't get a shot into him, but I got a shot on the JA Panther. I hit him, but I don't pen him, and he goes out of view. I'll try another speculative shot. But I'm not going to push any further because I don't know what is coming round that corner. So I'm thinking, I'll just hold it here, because I am a tier 6 and there are tier 7s, and it's not the quickest of tanks, so I'm just going to fall back just 'cause something doesn't feel right. There's something around and I'm not sure what, so I'm just going to move out, and our Skoda gets hit, and it's that Cromwell up there that has spotted it. So I hightail it back as fast as I can Now, the bloom the size of the world, I put a snapshot into that Cromwell. And because there is nothing there now, and our 5916 has got no health, and he looks like he's going to go up to spot. So I'm going to go up and sit on this western corner on the G line and see if I can get any damage out. But it's a slow paced game. It's a very strange game. There is nothing on this 1-2 line, and we're we're very much outnumbered. So I'll have a look, see if I can, I'll put a speculative shot in just in case that Cromwell's there. But I'm actually paying attention to that square in the bottom right hand side of the screen, and that's the minimap. And I noticed that AMD has pushed down the valley. Now, if he decides to come up, he's going to spot our artillery, and the artillery in this game is going to prove to be quite, they're going to be quite useful. So I'm going to go and try and take out this AMD. I'll take a snapshot on him and I'll miss that one. But I know that with this reload I can out DPM him, and he's also got shots from the 1375. So I put one in to him for 128. 1375 has put a shot in, I put another one in, and that's him finished. That's a decent enough trade, but I'm glad I ran away and was paying attention, because there's two ISs, a Cromwell B, a VK, an MT25, all pushed down the 2 line. So I'm not going to go and engage that. I'm going to see if I can get hits on anything else. I didn't spot him, I knew that the P43 was over in the corner, so I was seeing if I could get a shot onto him, but he disappeared out of my line, so I couldn't do it. It's a steady battle at the moment. We are 3-2 up, so I'm going to see if I can get shots into the rear of these tanks. The VK3001D has pushed round and up onto the high ground behind us, the enemy, so I'm going to just poke up and see if there is anything over here and see how we've got. We've got a decent amount of hit points, and so has that VK3601H. He was full health on 950, but I've put 2 into him already, and this is where the gun depression is half decent. You roll it back and then he hits my gun mantle and I bounce him for 350, and there's an AMX 1375 firing HE into me, which I'm quite happy about. I know I can out DPM this VK, so I bounce one on him. However, he's hit by the arty and then I finish him off, so I'm up to 1306 damage. I can live with that, that's nice. There's still those 2 ISs that have come down the 2 line, and I'm not sure where they are, so I'm not going to push up yet. There's that 1375 that was shooting at me. I'm going to try and get shots onto him, and I didn't hit one, but I managed to hit that one, and I didn't think I would. And then he's running around, the Cromwell's pushed past him, and then I take a shot and I hit him for 147. Well, we're 8-3 up, it's not bad. Those 2 ISs are now surrounded by the Leo, the E25 and the T3485. I'll see if I can hit that J Panther again with a speculative shot. It went nowhere near. So we're now 10-4 up. 1 IS is dead, and it doesn't look like this other one. No, that's it. The other IS is dead by a big fatty in the FV304. That is a great name. So all that's left now is 3 SPGs on the enemy team and the medium tank, which has gone and sat up in the corner on A0. Now I'm glad I did fall back, because if I'd engaged too soon, then there's no way I'd have been able to deal with 1 tank of those that was coming down that line, let alone 2 or 3 or even 4, because although it's got a really good rate of fire and you think it's got half decent armour for a tier 6, it doesn't really. I mean, it's got decent speed, but it takes a while to get up to it, and it's okay, but it's not a bad tank to play. I struggle to play with it. Like I say, it's only an average game, so let's see how the results fare. So as you can see, this was a second class. Now, the reason I've put in a second class, as I've said in previous videos, I can put first class games in, I can put ace tanker games in, but top 95, top 99%, I'm more than happy to put in second class games, because you can see what an average player like me can produce from average games, with 43,217 credits and 1,372 experience. I was second on damage by 1 hit point with 1,578 damage, and like I said, the GW Panther was top damage of 1,579. So if we look at the stats in more detail then, I fired 21 shots, I hit 14, and I penned 12, so just over 50%, which, well, it's an average game, I'll accept that. Total damage 1,578, and from a distance of more than 300 metres was 272, so I was fairly up close with him. I received 5 hits and only 1 penned and 1 non-penned, and as a result of splash damage I had 3, and I managed to block 350 hit points with my armour. I spotted 2, I damaged 4 and it destroyed 1, and I got 39 assistance. And because it isn't that quick, I travelled 2.7 kilometres. If I was running a standard account, I would have earned 28,811 credits, and then taking off the repair and ammunition supply, I would have grossed 25,200, which is okay. Like I say, it's a premium tank, but it is tier 6. But I'm running a premium account, so I made 43,217. Take off the repair and resupply, I had a total profit of 39,606 with 4,322 going into my reserve stock. My base EXP was 703 plus the bonus for a premium of 211, so my experience with a standard account was 914, but with it being premium it was 1,055 plus 317, which is where the 1,372 EXP came from. Now, what do I think of the tank? I like it, but I struggle to play it. It's a little bit slow for me, but once it gets up to speed, you're up there. It's got a decent reload. I think I go a little bit too aggressive with it, and I think that may be my problem with it. But I do enjoy playing it. Now, as you see, it is the Tankfest tank, and like I say, with any premium tank, it's entirely up to you whether you decide to buy it. It's your money, you do what you want with it. If you're a collector, it's a nice one to have. It's a nice French crew trainer. Just be aware that you've got that radio operator, so if you are transferring your crews from either your 30B or your back chat or whichever one, just to train them up a bit more, that you're also going to have to put in, and be aware that you've got a radio operator to train up to meet the same kind of level that you've got. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and if you're going to Tankfest, enjoy it. Catch you later.